Zip2 happened, you sold it, and it...
and bought the McLaren, yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, you invested most of that money into your next venture, X.com.
That's right. Yeah, most of the funds went into X.com, which was later renamed PayPal, yeah, and that worked out pretty well.
It worked out pretty well, but looking back on it, because you put a lot of your eggs in that basket, would you advise entrepreneurs to roll the bones quite the way you did?
Yeah, absolutely. I think so. I think it's worth investing your own capital in what you do. I don't believe in the sort of other people's money thing. I think if you're not willing to put your own assets at stake, then you shouldn't ask other people to do that.
So eBay comes along, buys PayPal, and then I remember 2003, give or take, meeting Elon at a coffee shop in Palo Alto. This was not long after the PayPal deal had closed. And I said to Elon, what would you like to do next? And you had 3 things to say.
Right.
Do you remember what they were?
Well, yeah. But yeah, I mean, they're basically, space, solar, and electric cars.
Space, solar, and electric cars. Yes, 2 points.
Yeah.
Wait, space, electric cars. What was the middle one?
I asked Elon what he wanted to do, and he said he wanted to do something in solar power. He wanted to colonize Mars eventually, but to get there by building a rocket business, a sustainable business, and building electric cars. And let's talk a little bit about Mars.
Okay.
So where did this come from? When did you have that dream? How did that come to be?
I guess when I was in college, I thought about things that would most affect the future of humanity, and there were 3 areas that I thought would have the biggest impact, and those were the internet, sustainable energy, of which solar power is the production side, and electric cars the consumption side, and then humanity becoming a multi-planet species. I think our future will fundamentally bifurcate to one where we are a space-faring civilization, or one where we are confined to Earth until some eventual extinction event. Although I'm quite optimistic about life on Earth, I should point out. Sometimes people think that by that I expect some imminent catastrophe, but I think that the probable outcome for civilization on Earth is quite good for a long time. But I still think that we should try to extend life beyond Earth and and the thing to do is to establish a base on Mars and try to make that a self-sustaining base as soon as possible. I don't expect that SpaceX is going to do that sort of single-handedly, but I think we're going to try to advance the technology of space travel to the point where we can at least send some number of people to Mars, which is not currently possible.
As I recall,
follow-up question, Jeff.
When SpaceX started, I think the first 3 rocket launches weren't successful.
Yeah.
And the 4th one was. What would have happened if the 4th one hadn't worked?
We would have failed. Yeah.
But let's talk about one of the failures were spectacular. I would go out to the island, Kwajalein, with Elon, and seeing giant exploding rockets is quite an amazing sight. I was one of the early investors in SpaceX, and I said, you know what? If all I get to do is to see these rockets explode, well worth every dime I put into this company.
There's something to be said about brotherly support.
But it was an amazing thing to watch what Elon had built with those rockets.